welcome to A Course in Miracles Live. We're going through the workbook lessons of A Course in Miracles, and we are on a review lesson again. We are on lesson number 212. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I have a function God would have me fill. I seek the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world. Only the function God has given me can offer freedom. Only this I seek, and only this will I accept as mine. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. How precious, how beautiful. And the word that jumps out from our review lesson today to me is function. So I typed it into the search program from A Course in Miracles, and this is what Jesus has to say about function. He's speaking about the miracle. This establishes the proper function of the mind and corrects its errors, which are merely lacks of love. You cannot behave effectively while you function on different levels. And then we have a section titled The Function of the Miracle Worker. Before miracle workers are ready to undertake their function in this world, it is essential that they fully understand the fear of release. Otherwise, they may unwittingly foster the belief that release is imprisonment, a belief that is already very prevalent. This misperception arises in turn from the belief that harm can be limited to the body. That is because of the underlying fear that the mind can hurt itself. None of these errors is meaningful because the miscreations of the mind do not really exist. This recognition is a far better protective device than any form of level confusion because it introduces correction at the level of the error. It is essential to remember that only the mind can create, and that correction belongs at the thought level. To amplify an earlier statement, spirit is already perfect and therefore does not require correction. The body does not exist except as a learning device for the mind. This learning device is not subject to errors of its own because it cannot create. It is obvious then that inducing the mind to give up its miscreations is the only application of creative ability that is truly meaningful. Before miracle workers are ready to undertake their function in the world, it is essential that they fully understand the release of fear. If your miracle working inclinations are not functioning properly, it is always because fear has intruded on your right-mindedness and has turned it upside down. All of your present functions are divided and open to question and doubt. The mind returns to its proper function only when it wills to know. The interpretive function of perception, a distorted form of creation, then permits you to interpret the body as yourself in an attempt to escape from the conflict you have induced. Creation is your source and your only real function. You are not at peace because you are not fulfilling your function. God gave you a very lofty function that you are not meeting. Belief is an ego function, and as long as your origin is open to belief, you are regarding it from an ego viewpoint. Eternalness is the one function the ego has tried to develop but has systematically failed to achieve. That is because the function of love is one. The mind can distort its function, but it cannot endow itself with functions it was not given. The Holy Spirit is the only part of the Holy Spirit that has a symbolic function. His symbolic function makes the Holy Spirit difficult to understand because symbolism is open to different interpretations. He can therefore perform the function of reinterpreting what the ego makes, not by destruction, but by understanding. The function of thought comes from God and is in God. His sole function is to undo the questionable and thus lead to certainty. The extension of God's being is Spirit's only function. Spirit is fulfilling its function, and only complete fulfillment is peace. And as a support today, I've gone into a Susan McCullen album and just going to push the shuffle button. So we'll see what Jesus gives us to support our beautiful lesson today. Again, our review lesson today is, I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. I have a function God would have me fill. I seek the function that would set me free from all vain illusions of the world. Only the function God has given me can offer freedom. Only this I seek, and only this will I accept as mine. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. precious. Okay, go forth, holy child of God. Remember our review lesson for today. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Go forth, shine your light, shine your love.